Welcome to Vedanta Bhakti Pravachanam channel. In this channel, we are seeing the Sai Baba Leelas in Sai Satcharitra. Up to 10th chapter, the writer has described so many things about Sai Baba. In this chapter number 11, what he is going to describe, we will have a look on that. Sai as Sagun Brahma. There are two aspects of God or Brahma. The unmanifested Nirgun, the manifested is Sagun. The Nirgun is formless while the Sagun is the form. Though both denote the same Brahma, some prefer to worship the former, some the latter. As stated in the Gita, the worship of the latter is easy and preferable. As man has got a form, it is natural and easy for him to worship the God with form. Our love and devotion do not develop unless we worship Sagun Brahma for a certain period of time. And when we advance, it leads us to worship of Nirgun Brahma. So, let us start with Sagun worship. Image, altar, fire, light, sun, water, Brahma are the 7 objects of worship. But Sadguru is the form of Sai. Sadguru is better than all these. Let us on this occasion bring to our mind the form of Sai, who was non-attachment incarnate and who was a resting place for his wholehearted devotees. Our faith in his words in the seat of asana and our sankalpa is the abdominant of all our desires. Some say that Sai was a Bhagavad Bhakta, others say he was a Mahabhagavat, but to us he is God incarnate. He was extremely forgiving, never irritable, straight, soft, tolerant, and content beyond comparison. Though he looked embodied, he was really disembodied, motionless, unattached, and internally free. The Ganges on its way to the sea cools and refreshes the creatures affected with heat, gives life to the crops and trees, and quenches the thirst of many. Similarly, saints like Sai, while they live their own life, give solace and comfort to all. Lord Krishna has said to the saint is my soul, my living image. I am he or he is my pure form. This is the indescribable Shakti or power of God known as pure existence. Knowledge and bliss incarnated in this form of Sai in Shirdi. The Shruti describes Brahma as bliss. This word we read or hear daily in the books, but the devout people experience this Brahma or bliss in Shirdi, Sai Baba. The support of all required no proper support from anybody. He always used a piece of sackcloth for his seat, which was covered with a small beautiful bed by his bhaktas, and had a blaster placed by them as a rest on his back. Baba respected the feelings of his devotees and allowed them to worship him as they liked. Some waved chamara or fans before him, some played on musical instrument, some washed his hands and feet, some others applied scent and chandan, some give betulant with leaves and other things, and some others offered naivedya. Though he looked like living in Shirdi, he was present everywhere. This all-pervasiveness of his was daily experienced by his devotees. Our humble prostration to this all-pervasive Sadguru. One, Dr. Pandit, a friend of Tacha Sahib Nulkar, once came to Shirdi for Sai Baba's darshan. After saluting Baba, he sat in the masjid from some time. Baba asked him to go to Dada Sahib Kelkar, Dada Bhat Kelkar. He went to Dada Bhat, by whom was well received. Then Dada Bhat left his house for puja and Dr. Pandit accompanied him. Dada Bhat worshipped Baba. Nobody until then dared to apply sandal paste to Baba's forehead. Only Mahal Sabadi used to apply into his throat. But the simple-hearted devote, Dr. Pandit took Dada Bhat's dish containing puja materials, taking sandal paste out of it, drew at Tripundra 3 horizontal lines on Baba's forehead. To the surprise of all, Baba kept silent without uttering a single word. Then Dada Bhat that evening asked Baba, how is it that though you object to the sandal paste being applied by others to your forehead, but you allow Dr. Pandit to do so now? Baba replied that Dr. Pandit believed him to do the same as his guru, Raghunath Maharaj of Dhupeshwar. known as Kaka Puranik, and he applied the paste to his forehead, as he was doing to his guru, hence he could not object. On inquiry, Dr. Pandit told Dada Bhatt that he took Baba and his guru Kaka Puranik and relayed him the same. Hence, he marked the Tripundra on Baba's forehead as he did on his guru's. Though Baba allowed the devotees to worship him as they pleased, still sometimes he acted in a strange way. Sometimes he threw away the puja dish and was wrath incarnate. Then he could approach him. Sometimes he scolded the devotees at times. He looked softer than wax, a statue of peace and forgiveness, though he seemed the snake with anger and his red eyes rolled round and round. Still he was internally a stream of affection and motherly love. Immediately he called out his devotees and said, he never knew that he was ever angry with his devotees, that if mothers kicked their children and if the sea turned back the river, he would neglect the devotees' welfare, that he, the slave of his devotees, always stood by them and responded to them whenever they called upon him, and that he always longed for their lives. Haji Siddiq Falke. There was no knowing when Baba would accept a devotee. That depend on his sweet will. Siddiq Falke's story into the point. One Mohammedan gentleman by name Siddiq Falke of Kalyan, after making a pilgrimage to Makkah and Medina, came to Shirdi. He lived in Savadi facing north and sat in the open courtyard for the masjid. For 9 months Baba ignored him and did not allow him to step into the masjid. Falke felt much disconsolate and did not know what to do. Somebody advised him not to be disappointed, but to try to approach Baba through Shama, a close and intimate devotee of Baba. He told him that as they approached the god Shiva, though his servant and devotee Nandi, so Baba could be approached through Shama. Falke liked the idea and implored Shama to intercede for him. Shama agreed and on a convenient occasion spoke to Baba about him thus, Baba, why don't you allow the old Haji to step into the masjid? While so many persons freely come and go after taking your darshana, why not bless him once? Baba replied, Shama, you are too young to understand things. If the fakir does not allow, what can I do? Without his grace, who will climb into the masjid? Well, go to him and ask him whether he will come to narrow footpath near the Barvi well. Shama went to and returned with an affirmative answer. Again Baba asked Shama, ask him whether he is willing to pay me the sum of 40,000 rupees in 4 installments. Shama went and returned with the answer that he was willing to pay even 40 lakhs. Again Baba said to Shama, we are going to cut a goat in the masjid, so ask him whether he would like to have in his meat haunch or testicles of the goat. Shama returned with the answer that the Haji would be happy to receive a small crumb from Baba's kolamba. Hearing this, Baba got excited and with his hands threw away the earthen jars and kolamba and straightway advanced to the Haji and lifting his kafri up with his hands and said, why do you brag and fancy yourself great and pose yourself on and as an old Haji? Do you read Quran like this? You are proud of your pilgrimage to Makkah, but you do not know me. Baba thus scolded. The Haji was confounded. Baba then went back to the masjid, purchased a few baskets of mangoes and sent them to the Haji. Then again Baba went to the Haji and taking up 55 rupees to him from his pocket, gave them to the Haji's hand. Thenceforth, Baba loved Haji, invited him for meals, and then Haji thereafter coming to the masjid whenever he liked. Baba gave him at times some rupees, and thus the Haji was enlisted in Baba's darbar. Baba's control over the elements. We shall close the chapter after describing 2 incidents showing Baba's control over the elements. Once at evening time, there was a terrible storm in Shirdi. The sky was overcast with thick black clouds. The winds began to blow forcibly. The clouds roared and the lightning began to flash, and the rain began to descend on torrents. In a short time, the whole place was flooded with water. All the creatures, birds, beasts and man, got terribly frightened, and they are all flocked to the masjid for shelter. There are many local deities in Shirdi, but None of them came to their help. So they all prayed the Baba, their God, who was fond of their devotion, to intercede and quell the storm. Baba was much moved. He came out and standing at the edge of the masjid, addressed it to storm in a loud and thunderous voice, "Stop, stop your fury and be calm." In a few minutes, the rain subsided, the wind ceased to blow, and the storm came to stop. Then the moon rose in the sky. And the people then went back home well pleased. On another occasion, a stone fire in the Dhuni began to burn brightly. Its flames were seen to be reaching the rafters above. The people who were sitting in the masjid did not know what to do. They dared not to ask Baba to pour water or do anything to quench the flames. But Baba soon came to realize what was happening. He took up his satka and dashed it against a pillar in front, saying, "Get down, be calm." At each stroke of the satka, the flames began to lower and slow down, and in few minutes, the Dhuni became calm and normal. This is our Sai. As incarnation of God, He will bless any man who will prostrate and surrender himself to Him. He who will read the stories of this chapter daily with faith and devotion will soon be free from all calamities. Not only this, but always attached and devoted to Sai, he will get a soon God vision. All his desires will be fulfilled, and being ultimately desireless, he will attain the supreme Amen. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all.